Greetings, wisdom seekers. Picture a scene from ancient history, somewhere high in the mountains, where sages would retreat from the bustling city to escape the pressures of the world below. Imagine stepping into their sandals, feeling the rugged terrain beneath your feet as you walk through forests where the air is still and each breath feels clean and fresh. Standing on a cliff's edge, you see the vast world below you, a world filled with chaos, conflict, and noise. Up here, however, you feel an overwhelming sense of clarity, silence, peace. It is here that the most profound thinkers throughout history have often found the strength to face the complexities of life. The Stoics sought clarity through simplicity, through daily discipline, and through the practice of seeing the world as it truly is. In our journey today, we'll explore 10 habits that bring us closer to this state of clear, grounded thinking. Each habit is a discipline in itself, a bridge to the kind of clarity that withstands life's turbulence and guides us toward truth. Without further ado, let us begin our journey. Each habit is a new step on the path to clear thinking, a timeless tool that can help us see through the fog of our busy minds. These habits are not only the tools to achieve mental clarity, but they are also practices of wisdom, honed by Stoic philosophers and thinkers. Let's walk this path together. Wisdom seekers, your support means everything. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Habit 1. Embrace the power of silence. Silence is more than the absence of noise. It is a sanctuary where the mind finds rest and reflection. In our modern world, silence has become almost an exotic rarity, a space so often filled with technology, notifications, conversations, and inner chatter that genuine silence is hard to come by. Yet silence is where clarity resides. It is in these quiet spaces that we can hear the subtle voices of insight and intuition that often get drowned in the noise of daily life. For the Stoics, silence was not simply an escape from external sound. It was a retreat into the self, a return to a state where they could observe their own thoughts and emotions with detachment. Silence provided a refuge where they could assess their intentions, actions, and desires without the distortion of external influences. Silence, then, is an discipline, one that we must pursue with the same vigor as physical exercise or learning. Imagine, for instance, that your mind is a lake. Throughout the day, with each stressor, conversation, and piece of news, stones are tossed into this lake, causing ripples and waves. In the busyness of everyday life, the lake never has a chance to settle. It's constantly disturbed. Silence, however, allows those ripples to fade away. When we sit in intentional silence, even for just a few minutes, the lake begins to calm. With enough practice, you'll find that the mind can become still, even amidst chaos, offering a deeper perspective and clarity that cannot be achieved in the constant noise. To make this habit practical, start by dedicating time each day to silence. This doesn't have to be extensive. Even 5 minutes in the morning or before bed can be transformative. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Let thoughts arise naturally, observing them without judgment, letting each one pass like clouds in a clear sky. You might feel restless at first, and that's perfectly normal. The mind is unaccustomed to silence, to a lack of stimuli, and will try to pull you back to activity. Be patient with this resistance and let it dissolve in the quiet. Over time, the restlessness will subside, replaced by a profound stillness. In cultivating this silence, you'll begin to notice that not every thought deserves your attention. You'll learn to separate the significant from the trivial, to hold on to what is essential, and to release what is not. The silence will sharpen your mind, enabling you to move through the world with a clarity that doesn't waver in the face of distraction or stress. In moments of chaos, when everyone else is swept away by their impulses and reactions, you will find yourself rooted, calm, and able to respond from a place of strength. Silence, then, becomes a well of resilience. In this quiet, we gain clarity. We begin to see that many things we once considered urgent are in reality insignificant. In silence, we gain a new perspective, one that enables us to live with greater intentionality and purpose. As you build this habit, silence will become your compass, guiding you through both calm and storm, helping you see clearly in moments where others see only confusion. Habit 2. The discipline of daily reflection. Reflection is an art, a practice of holding a mirror up to the mind and soul. It is through reflection that we grow, learn, and ultimately understand ourselves at a deeper level. For the Stoics, daily reflection was a ritual essential to living a meaningful life. They believed that without self-examination, it's easy to drift off course, to be swept along by habits, impulses, and distractions without ever questioning if we are moving toward our true values. Seneca spoke of the importance of reflection, suggesting that each night we should review our deeds and words, keep track of our own souls. This was not a shallow glance at the day's events, but a thorough and honest exploration of his actions, intentions, and attitudes. In our world, where busyness is often mistaken for productivity, reflection offers a powerful counterbalance. It is a time to ask ourselves, did I act with integrity today? Was I patient, understanding, and wise? Or did I let anger, fear, or ego dictate my actions? To practice daily reflection, choose a time each evening to sit quietly and think back on your day. This could be done through journaling, where you write about your actions, thoughts, and feelings, or through mental contemplation. The key is to approach this time with honesty, without glossing over uncomfortable truths. Reflection is not about indulging in self-criticism. It's about learning from your experiences, understanding what drives you, and becoming more aware of your patterns and behaviors. Think of it this way. Each day offers lessons, but if we never pause to examine them, those lessons are lost. Maybe you reacted out of frustration during a conversation with a friend, or rushed a task because you felt pressured. In the moment, these may seem like small events, but in reflection, you can trace their roots, perhaps to impatience, insecurity, or an underlying fear. Each discovery brings a chance for growth, a chance to act differently tomorrow. Imagine the power of a lifetime spent in reflection. Over time, you become more aware of your triggers, more understanding of your weaknesses, and more grounded in your strengths. The Stoics believed that this habit of reflection strengthened the will and developed a kind of inner discipline. Marcus Aurelius often wrote in his journals about his own struggles, reminding himself to be humble, patient, and mindful of his emotions. These were not mere musings, but powerful tools of self-accountability and self-improvement. Reflection also allows us to clarify our intentions. It helps us ensure that we're living in alignment with our deepest values and not just drifting through life, reacting to whatever comes our way. As you practice this habit, you'll find that reflection creates a profound clarity, an ability to see yourself honestly, to acknowledge where you need growth, and to appreciate the progress you've made. By devoting time each day to reflection, we also cultivate a sense of gratitude. In reviewing our day, we see not only our struggles, but also the blessings and successes we often overlook. This gratitude fuels a deeper resilience, a willingness to keep growing despite setbacks. Let this habit become a cornerstone of your daily routine. When we take even a few minutes each day to reflect, we gain insight, direction, and clarity. We become not only clearer thinkers but also better people, grounded in a deep awareness of our actions and guided by a sense of purpose. Habit 3. Cultivate intentional awareness. Awareness is a skill, one that lies at the heart of clear thinking and wise living. It is the practice of being present in each moment, fully conscious of our surroundings, our thoughts, and our actions. The Stoics believed that only by cultivating awareness could we perceive reality clearly, unclouded by biases, assumptions, or distractions. They called this living according to nature, which, in essence, means aligning our perception with the reality of the present moment. Most of us drift through life on autopilot. We complete tasks, make decisions, and move from one thing to the next without truly paying attention. We go through the motions, often missing the richness of each moment and falling prey to habitual, automatic reactions. Cultivating awareness means training ourselves to step out of this autopilot mode, to wake up to each moment and experience it with full presence. Consider this. How often do you find yourself doing one thing while thinking of something else? Maybe you're eating a meal, but your mind is on tomorrow's plans. Or you're in a conversation, but only half listening. Living like this fractures our attention and robs us of mental clarity. To think clearly, we must practice directing our focus entirely on what's in front of us. training ourselves to be fully immersed in the now. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, "Do every act of your life as if it were the last act of your life." This was a call to live with full engagement, to bring total awareness to each moment. To cultivate awareness, begin by practicing mindfulness in simple, daily tasks. When eating, taste each bite, feel its texture, and observe your thoughts without distraction. When walking, notice the rhythm of your steps, the sound of your breath, the details in your environment. Gradually expand this awareness to more complex moments, such as in conversations or while working. Notice how, as you bring greater attention to each moment, you begin to experience life more vividly. You'll likely feel more at peace, less hurried, and more capable of discerning what is important. As you strengthen your awareness, you'll also notice your thoughts and emotions with more clarity. Instead of being swept away by every thought, you can observe them from a distance, noticing patterns and identifying what truly matters. You'll begin to see how many of your concerns are rooted in either the past or the future, and with practice, you'll learn to let them go, returning to the present moment where clarity resides. Awareness is the foundation of true wisdom. By becoming present, we start to notice the subtleties of life, the undercurrents of our own minds, and the nuances of our interactions. It is here, in this full presence, that clarity blossoms. We start to see situations as they are, not as we wish them to be. Our reactions become less about impulse and more about deliberate choice. To fully experience this habit's power, remind yourself throughout the day to pause and return to the present. Practice this awareness like you would a muscle, knowing that each moment spent in intentional awareness strengthens your capacity for clear thinking. Over time, you'll find that awareness becomes second nature. You'll naturally be more present, more attuned to your inner and outer worlds, and more equipped to make wise choices. In awareness, we find freedom from confusion, a calm center in the midst of life's storms, and the clarity we need to navigate each moment with wisdom and grace. Habit 4. Practice disciplined simplicity. In a world overflowing with options, simplicity has become a radical choice. To think clearly, we must learn to cut through the clutter, not only in our physical surroundings, but also in our mental and emotional lives. The Stoics valued simplicity, understanding that a cluttered life leads to a cluttered mind. They practiced the art of minimalism, focusing only on what was essential, freeing themselves from unnecessary desires, attachments, and distractions. Simplicity is not about depriving ourselves, it's about creating space. By consciously choosing what to keep and what to let go, we open up mental bandwidth and energy that can be used for more meaningful pursuits. Seneca advised, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This perspective teaches us that fulfillment doesn't come from accumulation, but from discernment, knowing what truly matters and letting go of the rest. Begin by examining your environment. Look at the objects around you, the items you use, and those that merely take up space. Each physical possession we own requires some level of mental attention, whether it's upkeep, storage, or simply visual distraction. Try reducing the clutter in your surroundings and notice how your mind feels lighter, clearer, and more focused. But simplicity is more than just decluttering your physical space. It's also about simplifying your commitments, your goals, and even your thoughts. Often, we overcomplicate our lives by trying to do too much, pursue too many goals, or please too many people. This scattering of energy leads to a diluted sense of purpose and weakens our ability to think clearly. Practicing simplicity means setting boundaries, learning to say no, and focusing your efforts on what truly aligns with your values and long-term vision. In your mind, practice simplicity by letting go of unnecessary thoughts. Each day, our minds are bombarded with worries about things that may never happen, regrets about the past, and trivial concerns. Recognize these for what they are: mental clutter. By choosing to let go of these thoughts, or at least observing them without getting caught up in them, we make space for more focused, meaningful thoughts. As you practice disciplined simplicity, you'll find that your life gains a new sense of calm and order. Decisions become easier because you know what aligns with your priorities. Your mind becomes less distracted, and your thinking grows sharper. This habit teaches us that clarity doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less, but doing it with purpose. In simplicity, we gain freedom from the chaos that often clouds our judgment. We create a life that is aligned, purposeful, and anchored in what truly matters. Through simplicity, we find the clarity to see beyond the surface, to understand ourselves more deeply, and to move through life with a sense of calm intention. Simplicity, then, becomes not only a way of living, but a state of mind, one where clarity thrives and wisdom can take root. Habit 5. Master the art of detachment. Detachment is one of the most powerful tools for clear thinking. When we cling too tightly to our desires, fears, and expectations, our perception becomes clouded. The Stoics knew that the only way to see life objectively was to detach from emotional extremes. Detachment doesn't mean indifference or apathy. Rather, it's a mindset that allows us to face life's ups and downs with balance and equanimity. Imagine a sailor navigating the open sea. He understands that the winds and waves are beyond his control, yet he can adjust his sails and steer with calm precision. Detachment is like that. It's a commitment to stay centered, regardless of the external circumstances that we encounter. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we should care about what is within our control, namely, our actions, thoughts, and responses, while letting go of our attachment to outcomes that lie beyond our influence. This practice is especially relevant in modern life, where we are constantly surrounded by pressures to succeed, accumulate, and achieve. Society often equates success with material wealth, social recognition, or status. But these external markers are fleeting and ultimately beyond our control. When we become too attached to these outcomes, our peace of mind becomes dependent on things outside ourselves, and we lose clarity. Detachment, however, frees us from this dependency, allowing us to act with purpose while remaining grounded in our inner values. To practice detachment, begin by identifying your expectations and where you've placed your happiness. Do you tie your sense of self-worth to your job, your relationships, or your achievements? Notice how these attachments may bring momentary satisfaction, but also a great deal of anxiety when things don't go as planned. Once you recognize these patterns, work on loosening your grip. Instead of thinking, "I need this to be happy," try shifting your perspective to, "I prefer this outcome, but my happiness does not depend on it." Detachment does not mean we should avoid ambition or give up on our goals. Rather, it is about approaching these pursuits with a mindset of flexibility and resilience. The Stoics pursued their goals diligently, but did so with an awareness that not all outcomes are within their control. They practiced non-attachment to results, knowing that the only thing they could truly control was their own effort and attitude. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that we must welcome whatever comes our way, trusting that life unfolds as it should. Another key part of detachment is learning to let go of the past. So often we allow past regrets, mistakes, or resentments to dominate our thoughts, weighing us down and clouding our judgment. Detachment invites us to release these burdens, to see them as part of a life we've already lived, and to accept that the past is unchangeable. This doesn't mean ignoring lessons learned, but rather releasing the emotional hold they have over us. By letting go of what we cannot change, we make space for clarity in the present. Detachment also means releasing the need for approval from others. Many of our choices are influenced by a desire to be liked, admired, or validated. When we base our self-worth on external approval, we relinquish our clarity, allowing others to shape our values and direction. Practicing detachment from others' opinions allows us to think more clearly and stay true to our own principles. As Epictetus wrote, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This mindset requires courage, but it is essential to becoming independent and clear-minded. Ultimately, detachment is a practice of freedom. Freedom from the expectations, fears, and attachments that pull us away from clarity. Through detachment, we develop resilience, emotional stability, and a deeper sense of inner peace. Life's inevitable challenges and disappointments lose their grip on us because we are no longer dependent on any single outcome. This habit allows us to approach life with a calm mind, an open heart, and an unshakable clarity that isn't swayed by fleeting circumstances. With time, detachment becomes not just a way of thinking, but a way of being. We learn to trust the flow of life, to accept what comes with grace, and to respond with calm wisdom rather than reaction. In this state we find true clarity, a clarity born from freedom, acceptance, and the inner strength that detachment fosters. Habit 6. Seek wisdom over information. In an age dominated by information, wisdom has become a rare and valuable quality. Our modern world offers us endless streams of data, opinions, and news, yet rarely does it provide genuine wisdom. Information is abundant, but clarity and insight are not. The Stoics understood that true wisdom, knowledge gained through experience, reflection, and discernment, holds the key to a well-lived life. To think clearly, we must cultivate wisdom, learning to distinguish it from mere information. The pursuit of wisdom requires a shift in mindset. Information is about quantity. Wisdom is about quality. It's not enough to gather facts, we must know how to apply them thoughtfully. When we consume information without reflection, our minds become cluttered, filled with knowledge that may lack context or relevance to our lives. Wisdom, on the other hand, is refined knowledge. It's the understanding that has been processed, internalized, and connected to a broader perspective. One way to cultivate wisdom is to be selective with the information we consume. Not all sources are equal, and not all voices are worth listening to. The Stoics emphasized the importance of listening to wise mentors and learning from those who have demonstrated virtue and clarity. In our time, this means seeking out sources that inspire thoughtfulness, rather than merely entertain or provoke. Choose to read, watch, and engage with content that challenges you to think deeply and that aligns with the values you wish to embody. To gain wisdom, it's also essential to practice reflection. Information alone doesn't lead to insight. We must take time to contemplate what we learn. Ask yourself questions like, how does this apply to my life? What lessons can I draw from this? How does this align with my values? Reflection transforms raw knowledge into wisdom, giving it meaning and purpose in our lives. This habit of reflection is what allows us to extract clarity from the noise of modern life. Another component of seeking wisdom is cultivating patience. The pursuit of wisdom is not a quick process. It requires time, humility, and a willingness to accept that we don't have all the answers. Socrates famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This humility opens us to growth, allowing us to approach learning not as a means of accumulating facts, but as a journey toward deeper understanding. Wisdom also requires discernment, the ability to see beyond surface appearances and recognize deeper truths. This involves questioning assumptions, challenging popular beliefs, and thinking critically. The Stoics were skeptical of the superficial judgments and opinions that often dominated public discourse. They advised that we should look deeper, seeking the essence of things rather than being swayed by initial impressions. This habit of discernment is crucial for clear thinking, as it allows us to filter out distractions and focus on what truly matters. In today's world, where we're constantly bombarded by information, seeking wisdom provides a powerful foundation for clarity. Wisdom gives us a framework for understanding, a guiding philosophy that keeps us anchored in a sea of noise. It allows us to see patterns, to connect ideas, and to make decisions that are aligned with our values rather than dictated by fleeting trends or emotions. By prioritizing wisdom over information, we cultivate a mind that is not only knowledgeable, but also discerning and clear. We become thinkers rather than mere collectors of data. People who can make meaningful connections and approach life with insight and understanding. Through wisdom, we gain clarity. A clarity that helps us navigate complexity, resolve conflicts, and live with a sense of purpose and peace. Habit 7. Embrace the power of patience. Patience is often seen as a virtue that involves waiting calmly, but in truth, it is much more than that. It's a profound discipline that shapes how we perceive time, ourselves, and the world around us. Patience teaches us that clarity often takes time to reveal itself and that rushing only muddles our vision. For the Stoics, patience was the art of aligning ourselves with the natural rhythms of life, of moving with purpose rather than haste, and of embracing the journey without the constant pressure of the destination. In our fast-paced world, patience has become rare, yet its value has only grown. We live in an age of instant gratification, where information, possessions, and even relationships are expected to be immediate. This constant drive for speed creates a mental fog, a sense of urgency that makes it difficult to think clearly and act wisely. Patience, however, is the antidote. It slows us down, allowing us to observe, reflect, and make choices rooted in understanding rather than impulse. Patience begins with learning to be comfortable with stillness. Often we are so accustomed to moving from one task to the next that we fear quiet moments, filling them with distractions rather than using them for reflection. Embracing stillness means allowing space between actions, permitting our minds to rest, and letting thoughts settle. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this, advising himself to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. This metaphor is powerful. Just as the rock remains calm and unmoved by the waves, so too can we cultivate inner stillness, unaffected by the chaos around us. Patience also requires trust. Trust that some things are worth waiting for and that growth happens slowly. When we rush to conclusions or demand immediate answers, we may find ourselves making choices without true clarity. In contrast, patience allows ideas to develop, perspectives to broaden, and understanding to deepen. The Stoics believed that we should accept the timing of life as it unfolds, knowing that some things lie beyond our control and that clarity cannot be forced. Seneca wrote, "Time discovers truth." Patience, then, is an acceptance of this truth, a willingness to let time do its work. To practice patience in your daily life, start by recognizing moments when you feel the urge to rush or to seek immediate answers. Instead of acting on this urge, pause and allow yourself to observe. Practice delaying gratification, whether it's in making a decision, responding to a message, or pursuing a goal. This habit of waiting doesn't mean inaction. It means cultivating discernment, allowing yourself to act only when you're certain, rather than being propelled by urgency. Over time, patience becomes a source of inner strength. It allows us to remain steady in the face of challenges, to endure setbacks with grace, and to approach life's difficulties with a calm resilience. The Stoics often referred to this as amor fati, or the love of fate, the ability to accept all that happens with openness and composure. When we practice patience, we learn to release the need for immediate control and to embrace life's natural flow, trusting that clarity and wisdom will emerge in their own time. Patience, then, is not a passive waiting, but an active choice to live with purpose and presence. It sharpens our perception, helps us avoid impulsive mistakes, and gives us the fortitude to stay aligned with our values. By cultivating patience, we build a clarity that is unshakable, a vision that is not distorted by haste, and a life that unfolds in harmony with the deeper rhythms of existence. Habit 8. Cultivate a habit of gratitude. Gratitude may seem simple, but its impact on our clarity of thought is profound. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already possess, opening our eyes to the abundance around us and grounding us in a sense of appreciation. For the Stoics, gratitude was a fundamental aspect of wisdom, a recognition that everything we have is temporary, that we are privileged to experience each moment, and that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in a thankful heart. Practicing gratitude brings clarity by removing the mental clutter of constant desire. When we're always chasing something else, a new possession, achievement, or experience, our minds are filled with longing, which clouds our perspective. Gratitude, however, allows us to recognize the richness of the present. Seneca reminded us, "He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing." This simple truth speaks to the power of contentment. When we learn to appreciate what we have, we find a kind of mental clarity that frees us from the endless cycle of wanting. To cultivate gratitude, start by taking a few moments each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. This can be as simple as appreciating the basic things: health, relationships, the beauty of nature, or the small comforts of daily life. Writing these reflections in a journal can deepen the experience, helping you anchor in appreciation. Over time, you'll notice that this practice shifts your entire outlook, allowing you to see life's challenges with a clearer perspective, framed by a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude also connects us to others and fosters a sense of humility. It reminds us that many of our blessings come from outside ourselves, whether through relationships, opportunities, or the natural world. This awareness humbles us, reminding us that we are part of a greater whole, and that our successes are not solely our own. The Stoics often expressed gratitude for life itself, for the privilege of existence and the opportunity to grow in wisdom. This broader view brings clarity, helping us move beyond narrow self-interest and see our place within the larger tapestry of life. When gratitude becomes a habit, it transforms our thinking. We become more resilient, less reactive, and more accepting of life's ebbs and flows. The things we once took for granted gain new significance, and we find ourselves able to meet each day with a sense of calm appreciation. Gratitude is a powerful lens. It sharpens our perception, reduces anxiety, and fills us with a steady sense of peace. Through gratitude, we not only find clarity but also a deep joy, a contentment that transcends circumstances and anchors us in the beauty of each moment. Habit 9. Commit to a life of purpose. Purpose is the compass that guides us through life's uncertainties. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we are less likely to be swayed by distractions, less vulnerable to doubt, and more grounded in a vision that gives meaning to our actions. The Stoics believed that each person has a unique role to play in the world, a daimon, or guiding spirit, and that by discovering and embracing this purpose, we align ourselves with the natural order. Having purpose brings clarity because it filters out what is irrelevant. When you know what you stand for and what you want to achieve, decisions become simpler and the noise of external opinions fades away. As Epictetus taught, purpose allows us to keep our attention focused on what matters most, instead of scattering our energy across fleeting pursuits. Purpose, then, is a mental anchor, a source of strength that provides clarity even in times of uncertainty. To find your purpose, start by reflecting on your values, passions, and the impact you wish to make in the world. Ask yourself, what drives me? What do I want to contribute? Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It could be as simple as being a supportive friend, a responsible parent, or an ethical professional. What matters is that it resonates with your inner values and brings a sense of meaning to your life. Once you identify your purpose, let it guide your daily actions. Purpose is not a distant goal, but a living, breathing force that shapes how you approach each day. Let it inform your decisions, motivate your efforts, and help you prioritize your time. This alignment with purpose reduces mental clutter, sharpens your focus, and fills each moment with meaning. With purpose as your guide, you'll find that clarity becomes a natural part of your life. Challenges seem less daunting, setbacks less discouraging, because you are anchored in something greater than yourself. Purpose transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, infusing even the simplest actions with depth and significance. In a world filled with distractions, purpose provides a clear path, a steady light that leads you forward with confidence and clarity. Through purpose, we not only think clearly, but live meaningfully, contributing our unique gifts to the world. Habit 10. Embrace mortality as a source of clarity. The final habit may seem paradoxical, but it is one of the most liberating, embracing our mortality. The Stoics often reflected on the brevity of life, not as a morbid fixation, but as a way to sharpen their focus on what truly mattered. When we accept that life is finite, we are less likely to waste it on trivial concerns, distractions, or meaningless pursuits. The awareness of mortality brings a powerful clarity, urging us to make the most of each moment and to live with purpose. Contemplating mortality reminds us that time is our most precious resource. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This perspective encourages us to be mindful, to treat each moment as valuable and not to squander it. When we keep mortality in mind, we're less likely to be consumed by minor grievances, resentments, or fleeting desires, and more likely to focus on what gives life true value. Reflecting on mortality also brings gratitude, a reminder that each day is a gift. Instead of living with a mindset of entitlement, we learn to approach life with humility, aware that our time is limited and that we should use it wisely. This awareness doesn't need to lead to fear or anxiety, but can be a source of empowerment, a motivator to live fully and authentically. Embracing mortality brings clarity because it strips away illusions. It forces us to confront what we truly value, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with integrity. Instead of postponing our dreams, we're inspired to act, to make choices that reflect our deepest values, and to live with courage and joy. When we accept that our time is finite, we see life with a new intensity and focus, finding clarity not in an endless future, but in the precious present. These 10 habits form the foundation for a life of clear thinking, anchored in wisdom, resilience, and purpose. Through them, we cultivate not only clarity, but a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that guides us through life's complexities. Embrace them, wisdom seekers, and let them lead you to a life of meaning, clarity, and unwavering strength.